Hello everybody, how's the grind? I am Adrian of the GTF and welcome to our first Destiny 2 Edge of Fate build video. Before we dive in, thanks for tuning in. This is only the beginning of what we have prepped and planned here on the channel, so stay tuned. Without further ado, let's get into the build. I call this the Praise the Sun build. Do note, this build is based off Mactic's new Warlock build. I've just added a little more damage spec to it and some other things. Shout out to him, go check out his build video, it's goated, amazing S tier. This is somewhat a work in progress because I haven't gotten tier 3 or 4s yet, so when we get to that level, the damage output is just gonna skyrocket. The crowd control in this build is nuts, and the survivability is goated. First up, we are running well for a little extra damage and survivability. If the boss doesn't, nuke your well in 0.5 seconds, Crota, bonk bonk, well be gone. If you want to run Dawnblade, go for it. If you're that guy or gal or just for fun and it's what you like, go for it. But understand, there is a trade-off in damage and survivability, as well as you're not really participating mainly in group play. Song of Flame would eat your fusions, however, it would be an increase in damage. Ease, however you say his name, he has a video on the Tube and TikTok. You can go check that out if you want to see how it works. It's pretty much giga damage survivability, what is a warlock? Next up, we are obviously using fusions, part of the whole build. Then Incinerator Snap for Scorch Stacks and Ignition on top of Unstopped Stun. Phoenix Dive, a key part of the build, increasing survivability and ability uptime. Now Aspects, Touch of Flame for maximum damage and Scorch Stacks and Ignition procs. Heat Rises, which synergizes with Phoenix Dive and Incinerator Snap, giving restoration from dive and massive snap energy while killing airborne. This is where you get your survivability, uptime, and just more all-around melee energy. Moving on to Fragments. First up, Ember of Ashes for even more Scorch and Ignition procs. Ember of Empyrean, tying into Phoenix Dive, allowing after Restoration is proc to keep procking it from solar kills. 0 deaths. Ember of Char, this is your free slot, put whatever your heart desires here, man. And finally, Ember of Searing for more melee and grenade energy for overall perma ability uptime for the two. Now, let's get into armor mods. Starting from the top with our helmet, all the way into Discipline, with Harmonic Siphon for Orb Gen, Thermodynamic because I use Conditional Finality and to maximize orb generation, topped off with Heavy Ammo Finder to stay on top of our heavy ammo. Next, our arms. Again, Full Send Discipline for that maxed out grenade stat, Firepower to stay on top of orb gen, and Double Harmonic Dex for quick swaps and keeping that DPS up. Now, for the star of the build, Starfire Discipline! Harmonic Resist for extra DR for solar, or you could use AoE DR. Choice is yours. Kinda situational, really. Then charged up to keep those armor charge stacks as high as and available as possible, ending with Harmonic Ammo Gen, more overall damage. Going into boots, we have Solar Surge, you can double it for more overall damage, but we also have Double Holster to maximize DPS. And I switched up on ya with the Intellect mod for more well time. It really just depends on what you want. Super, weapons, you have the restoration uptime, so yeah, it's personal preference at that point. And finally, our Bond. Give Discipline one last love tap, or whatever stat you need. Powerful Attraction for when we dive, any nearby orbs are ours, maximizing ability uptime. Bomber for grenade uptime, and Reaper for maximizing our orb potential. Time for the artifact. First up, Fever and Chill, giving you perma radiant uptime. Now, you can do this with Stasis too. You could do this whole build flip that was kind of going on with talking about, if you want to spec out that special or secondary slot for Lord of Wolves and just go ballistic and nuke whatever you're looking at, you could do that and put on a demo adrenaline stasis primary, or if demo for the minimum. You don't need adrenaline junkie, But if you want more damage, yes. But that's how you could do that, because you'd get the frost armor proc, and now just, that's more survivability. So you could do that if you wanted. Next, refreshing threads for ability uptime from fire sprites. Cauterize darkness, so anybody debuffing with darkness abilities buffs your overall solar damage. Using conditional and solo content, that is a guarantee. A guarantee. Falling into shoulder to shoulder for group play extra DR, then into elemental coalescence promoting fire sprite uptime. Now for the big boys, radiant shrapnel giving increased overall DPS when swapping between special and heavy whenever you're using your pulse SMG or whatever with that solar to proc that radiant proc and just get extra DPS. And last but not least, elemental overdrive. This will increase our overall weapon damage every time we pick up a fire sprite. So you keep that in mind before you go to damage or something, kill an ad, grab that, whatever. I'm sure they'll be around with how much just nuking you're going to be doing with this build. Ending the build with our weapons of choice. I'm using the Battler because I don't have this roll on Nullify. It still does the same work, but you just get more damage on that Nullify because it's a heavy burst. But you 100% whatever it is want Demo Adrenaline. Demo at the minimum, like I was saying, for that grenade uptime. Next, conditional finality. Freeze, ignitions, damage. Do I need to say more? Finally, Outrageous Fortune, or really any solar heavy with Blast Distributor for those of you if you don't have a 200 grenade stat. So this is pretty useless to me. If you want ignitions, go Incandescent Burning Ambition. If you want more damage, which is what you're probably going for, you want that Envious Arsenal bait and switch with spike grenades and smart drift control or hard launch. Hard launch if you want to send it and never look back again. Like I was saying with the whole stasis thing and being in the primary and doing that with Lord, granted you can do that, you will lose a little bit of uptime on your grenades, but that doesn't matter because Lord is going to just absolutely smack the damage you need to get back, if anything go over. So do whatever you want with this information. Now let's go see this in action on Kepler. Got it pretty locked in. Shotgun, grenade, snap, shotgun, 2 heavy, grenade, 6 burst of the primary, shotgun, 2 heavy, 3 burst of the pulse, shotgun, heavy, burst, grenade, shotgun, heavy, burst, grenade, shotgun, heavy, burst, grenade.
Deep, 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 deep.
What is my head doing? What is my head doing? From downtown. Beep. 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 Everything dies. All the same. Long range, short range. Don't matter. It's dying. It's dying. I don't care about none of that. Get out of here. Almost died. Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, that's the build.